It's week 6 of Art Club Takeaways. This is the final box of this series. How's it been? I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it. I really hope you have too. I've seen your imaginations and your creativity absolutely fly. Thank you so much for sharing with me everything that you've made, all the ideas that you've had, the journeys that you've been on. It's been so brilliant. So there's a new set. It's going to start next week. If you want to sign up, if you want to get them again for another 6, they will be absolutely new, completely different. I've got so many exciting ideas. The link to sign up is on my website and I will email it. Please join me again. It would be lovely to have you. So I'm thinking about this week already. I've got the things on my table. Excuse me. So, of course, as always, if you opened your box and you've seen the things and you've got an idea, you've got a way that you want to use them already in your head, you feel free. I'm going to show you a few different ways to use what's inside. Now, let's stop messing around. This is plasticine in here. There are a few important things. Plasticine must stay on the table. Do not put plasticine anywhere near the carpet. It's unbelievably important. Secondly, plasticine won't dry out. So you can use and reuse and reuse. You know, I like that sort of thing. But if you mix the colours will stay mixed. You won't be able to unmix them. So that's your choice. That's up to you. I would suggest that you take a few small pieces and you practice. You practice mixing the colours and see what happens. You'll notice that there probably aren't all the colours you want. So you will have to work out how to get the colours you want. Now, I'm going to have a drink. Excuse me. I seem to have a bit of a croaky frog in my throat. Always important to have a cup of tea. Okay, so you're going to get plasticine in small pieces. They might come squares and rectangles, or they might come little longs. What would you call it? The most important thing is it'll all need warming up. So you'll need to squeeze and play. It's good to put it perhaps down on the table and squish it. You're going to have to get your fingers and your thumbs moving. And the warmer it gets, the easier it is to work with. So I've taken that little piece of white that's looked a bit like this, especially now it's coming in the post and it is February. So even though it's getting a bit warmer, it's still a bit cold. So once it's in your house, once you've squeezed it a bit, you'll be ready to go. There's no rush. There's no rush at all. So take the piece you want to use, give it a good squeeze. Now, I'm sure you've used plasticine or something similar to make models. You might have made little creatures. You might have just mixed colours and seen the marbling effect. This is where colours run together without being completely solid. Let me see if I can find. Obviously, I've got a pot absolutely full of plasticine that's all been squidged together. Now, so you can see what happens. It's very interesting to see how the colours work. What's going on with my voice? Excuse me. So if you push it and squeeze it, you can see now marbling is where the colours start to slide into each other. Of course, if you need to mix colours, you'll have to keep going past the marbling stage. Let me show you what I've done. So if you were thinking about making a skin colour, now of course we're all different colours, what you need is red and yellow and a tiny bit of blue. Then you might want to add white or black to make it lighter or darker. So this is the colour that I've made by mixing equal amounts of red and yellow and a tiny bit of blue. Now, it's not exactly the same as me, but it might be exactly the same as you. It might be exactly the colour you want to make what you want to make. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to use this plasticine that you might not have done before. And a lot of the time we're going to use our fingers and thumbs as our tools. But I've also given you a few little bits of wooden tool. So practice, see what kind of marks you can make. See how these things, if you push them, you can make, this is called an indentation. It kind of makes a dent when you push in. And of course, if you want to change it, just squeeze it, get rid of it. There are pointy ones, round ones. I don't know how easy that is for you to see. Okay, so first of all, I want you to think about using the plasticine as if it was paint. So trying to have a go at making something a bit flat. Now, I have done one myself. May I show you? I will show you what I've done. I did this a long time ago. So you can see the plasticine is totally flat. I've used my thumb to squeeze it across this back, and I've put green and blue, sky and ground. And then I've started to make small shapes with my finger and thumb, rolling them together, and then I've again pushed them. So you can see how to spread, to kind of smush something. You might use your thumb to smush it out and cover. Now you will all have a background, something like that. There's this white one, some of you might have a metal one. You can see I've done my own face. Not exactly my face, but a face. And instead of making it a 3D model, I've used the background to put it on, and I've squished it in. Now, I don't expect you to be able to make things that look like this. I mean, if that's what you want to go for, give it a good shot. So sky and ground maybe is something nice, but also just to mix colours or just to put colours next to each other, just to squeeze things over, using your thumb and your fingers to push into the backboard. It's a really interesting way, and you feel as if it's like paint. Something else you might fancy trying. Do you have a creature, not a real one, not your actual pet, but perhaps, well, I've got a sheep. We use this sheep for painting. We use her feet. We've used her nose. Can you see how she's got quite a lot of paint on? But little bits of plasticine can be added to creatures to give them different outfits, but also to change them to completely different creatures. Am I making a dino sheep by adding some scales? Do you know what? If you like dinosaurs, you will know what this is called, perhaps. I'm not sure I do know. I know there are some dinosaurs that have this kind of thing on the back of them. Are you possibly, let's see what else I've got, some green. Could you completely change the shape? Sorry, sheep. Could you completely change the shape of her face and make her into a completely different kind of an animal? Now let's see. Something a bit closer to a hammerhead shark. And if you want to make small bits like eyes, for example, if you take a tiny piece, try to find a bit, something small, practice rolling it between your finger and thumb, or practice rolling it on a flat surface. If this was the table, you could practice just rolling it around. Keep rolling and rolling, and you'll find you've got a ball. You can make bigger or smaller ones. Oh, I've dropped it. That makes a fun eye. Now, this is where something like one of your tools comes in. Because if you put I'm turning into a lizard, I've just realised. She's becoming some kind of reptile. What could you do? And of course, you can take everything off. A good way to get rid of this is to stick it to itself. Can you see how I'm using that? And it takes it all off because it all joins to there. And underneath, she's fine. She can go back in the toy box. No problem. There are other little things in here that you might choose to build some kind of landscape, or just to do something very abstract. Lots of different other things that you might use to add in to your clay. Plasticine, it might give you an idea of buildings, vehicles, I don't know, completely abstract, made up things. So my name is Emma, and I've made a letter E. One last thing. The best way to get this stuff off your hands, if you're feeling either you've got a dark colour stuck on there and you want to change it for a light colour, or you want to finish, before you go straight to wash, have you got any kitchen roll? Because kitchen roll or tissue, if you rub your hands on it, a bit crimply noise, you will find that it comes off. That's the best way to get it off. Then you can go and wash your hands afterwards. I'll stop crumpling the sound. So, plasticine, a new and exciting way to use it. Try it flat. Try and push with your thumbs. Try rolling into balls or sausages. We didn't mention that. If you get a small piece or a longer piece, let's take a bigger piece, and you have it that kind of an already sausage, and you roll it flat on the table. You push a little bit and you move your rolling hand up and down along it. And can you see what's happening? It's sausaging. This is definitely worth a practice. And then what could you do with your sausage? Do you know what I always do? I wouldn't recommend you do this. Is it an ice cream? It's something for this sheep to wear. Thank you so much. I really can't wait to see the pictures of any plasticine fun that you have. But remember, nowhere near the carpet. Keep it safe. Once you've finished, put it back in a little bag and keep it away from other things in your house. Sometimes it's difficult to get out of clothes or carpet. Thank you so much. I very much look forward to seeing you when you join me for the next set of 6. My name's Emma. It's been lovely to have this art adventure with you. Thanks.